Throw away your grammar books. Native speakers don't use rules to choose between will and going to. They use feelings.
Exactly. Because when you are standing face to face with a real person, grammar rules completely vanish from your brain.
They just evaporate. I see it all the time with English learners. They are having a great conversation, and then suddenly, the painful, awkward silence. You can actually see their eyes moving back and forth, calculating.
They're asking themselves, wait, is this a prior plan? Is this a spontaneous decision? What did Chapter 4 say?
And by the time they figure it out, the moment is gone. The other person is already looking at their phone.
There is actually a scientific reason for this. It is called cognitive overload.
Cognitive overload?
Yes. Neurolinguistics shows that your brain literally cannot access a complex grammar table and read a person's facial expressions at the exact same time.
That makes so much sense. You cannot be analytical and emotional simultaneously.
Right. So when you try to apply a strict rule to will or going to, you sound robotic. You lose the human connection.
Let's put the listeners in a real situation. Imagine you are in downtown Chicago. It is December. The wind is freezing.
I am already shivering.
Setting the scene. You duck into a crowded coffee shop. The line is long. Suddenly, the woman in front of you drops all her papers on the floor.
Okay, a high-pressure moment.
If you stop and think, wait, is my help a prior plan? No, it just happened. So I must use will.
By the time you finish that thought, she has already picked up her papers and walked away.
Exactly. The grammar delayed your kindness. In that moment, you just react. I will help you. It is a reflex.
And that is the core difference. Will is a spark. It is a reflex. An instant reaction to what is happening right in front of you.
A spark. I love that word. It requires zero preparation.
But going to is completely different. If will is a spark, going to is a heavy backpack.
A heavy backpack? Explain that.
Think about it. When you use going to, it means you have been carrying this idea around in your head for a while.
Ah, like a plan that already exists.
Yes, you already packed the bag. You already made the decision before you even opened your mouth to speak.
Providing an example. So if someone asks me, what are you doing this weekend? And I say, I'm going to visit my parents.
It means you already bought the train ticket, or at least you mentally committed to it yesterday.
But what if I say, I will visit my parents?
It sounds weirdly aggressive. Or like you just realized your parents exist at that exact second.
Right. It sounds like a sudden vow. I will visit them. I swear it.
Exactly. And this is where learners get so much unnecessary anxiety. They think if they use the wrong one, people won't understand the future.
We understand the future perfectly. We just feel a different emotional weight from your sentence.
That is the perfect way to put it. Emotional weight. Let's talk about promises. Why do promises always live in will?
Because a promise is an emotional bond created in the present moment.
Yes. If a friend is crying and says, "Please don't tell anyone my secret," you don't say, "I am not going to tell anyone."
No, that sounds distant, almost clinical.
You say, "I won't tell anyone." Won't is just will not. It holds intimacy. It holds trust.
This is blowing my mind right now. We are teaching grammar as if it is math, but it is actually psychology.
Language is pure psychology. Think about extreme emotions. Anger.
Okay, let's go there. Someone betrays you.
You look them in the eye and say, "I will never speak to you again." It is a raw, powerful emotional strike.
But if you calmly say, I'm going to stop talking to you,
It sounds like a business transaction, like you scheduled it in your Google Calendar for next Tuesday.
that is so incredibly true. Emotion dictates the grammar. So, what happens when learners obsess over making mistakes?
They choose silence. The fear of choosing the wrong tense literally paralyzes their vocal cords. It is tragic.
It really is, because native speakers do not care. If you mix them up, we still catch the vibe.
Exactly. Let's talk about predictions, because this is where the textbook rules really confuse people.
Oh, the classic weather example. Every textbook has it.
Right. Look at those dark clouds. It is going to rain. Because you see evidence. The heavy backpack of water is already in the sky.
But if we are just sitting inside drinking coffee, and I have a feeling,
Then you say, I think it will rain later. It is just a thought, a spark in your mind. No evidence required.
so basically, if there is a foundation, a plan, physical evidence, a prior thought, we use going to.
Yes. And if there is no foundation, just raw emotion, a sudden offer, a promise, we use will.
That removes so much pressure. You don't need to memorize a list of 20 rules.
You just need to trust your human instinct. Are you sharing a plan you've held on to, or are you reacting to the present?
This changes everything. If someone is learning English to survive in a corporate office, they need to know this.
Professional context. Absolutely. Imagine your boss says, we need this report by 5 p.m. If you say, I'm going to do it, it sounds like you already started.
But if you say, I will do it, it sounds like you are stepping up to save the day. You are taking charge in the moment.
Exactly. Same action, completely different professional image. Will shows initiative.
So stop letting grammar rules dictate your personality. Let your intention dictate the grammar.
That is the ultimate takeaway. Speak first, correct yourself later. Confidence builds fluency faster than a textbook ever could.
And once you start thinking that way, conversations feel lighter. You're not carrying the pressure of being correct anymore.
Yes, and that lightness is what allows your personality to come through. You stop sounding like a textbook and start sounding like yourself.
Let's bring this into something very everyday. Something simple like making plans with friends.
Perfect. That's where people use these forms constantly without even realizing it.
Imagine your friend texts you, "Do you want to hang out tonight?"
Okay,
Option 1, you reply, "Yeah, I'll come."
that feels like you just decided in that moment. Maybe you weren't sure before, but now you're in.
Option 2, but if you say, "Yeah, I'm going to come,"
It sounds like you already planned to go, and the message just confirmed it.
same outcome, different timeline in your mind.
Exactly. And that timeline feeling is what learners should focus on. Not the rule, but when the decision happened.
Let's flip the situation. What if you can't go?
Good one.
"Sorry, I won't come tonight."
That feels immediate. Like you just realized something or made a quick decision.
"Sorry, I'm not going to come tonight."
That sounds more settled. Like you already knew earlier, but are just informing them now.
So even small social interactions carry this emotional timing.
Yes, and once you notice it, you start hearing it everywhere.
Let's give listeners one more mindset shift.
Go ahead.
Don't ask which tense is correct. Ask, what is my intention in this moment?
That question changes everything.
Are you reacting? Use will. Are you sharing a plan? Use going to.
And if you're not sure, just choose one and keep speaking, because silence is always worse than a slightly wrong tense.
Always. Communication is about flow, not perfection.
And flow only happens when you allow yourself to move forward without stopping.
So next time you feel that pause, don't analyze it. Trust your instinct and speak.
Because the more you speak, the more accurate your instincts become. And one day, you won't even think about will or going to anymore.
You'll just feel it. And that's when English truly becomes yours.